Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. So today is going to be a little bit of a different type of what's it called, video. And I'm doing this video because I've had some comments about people wanting to hear a little bit more about my insight in my business, my experiences, and everything that I guess a chef goes through, or just to find out a little bit more about my background in the business. This is going to be probably, hopefully, one of my last drinks that I have. Don't worry, YouTube, it's just apple juice. But as I was saying, this business, as much as I love the business, it's not what it used to be whatsoever. And I mean, I just closed down my restaurant about 4 months ago, and I feel like I was in a bubble. I closed my restaurant, but I really, really enjoyed working at my restaurant. I enjoyed the people that I had working with me, and I just enjoyed what I was able to do. Sadly, it really was not really sustainable for me to stay there. The traffic had stopped a long time ago. Well, it didn't stop, but it was very hard to gain traffic in the neighborhood. And Philadelphia was just not, I don't know, it was going through its challenges, just to say that. And as much as we would get little spikes here and there, it would be so delicate that if something happened, and during all the stuff that happened, we did struggle because traffic was basically shut down by the city. Said I understood that the shutdowns were going to happen. I wasn't sure how long it was going to happen. That was definitely a tricky situation. So I do have some empathy for the people that made decisions that affected the businesses. I have empathy to an extent because some of the decisions just felt like they were just making decisions without them having empathy on the people that work at these businesses. And I know a lot of it was, put in a way to save lives, which that's why I say I respect that there has to be decisions that are made in a situation that nobody knows what's going on. I also thought it could have been handled better. Let's just say that, and I'll just keep it at that level. With that being said, there was a bunch of other stuff that was going on. The increase of minimum wage, which at the end of the day, the minimum wage was being increased anyway, because when everything started being shut down and you got all these logistic holes, that it was really no minimum wage. I mean, nobody was really getting minimum wage to begin with anyway, but that's besides the point. It's such a very small amount of people that are getting that minimum wage anyway. The increase that they did with the minimum wage, it actually almost doubled in some states, the regular minimum wage. So that made it very, I know, challenging for those states. It had to. Cost goes up. I mean, luckily I was able to absorb a lot of that cost because I did a lot of the work, and sadly a lot of it was because traffic, because all the close downs and crime in Philadelphia slowed down the traffic. That's a whole nother topic, but I really just wanted to get to that. I don't know if I'm going to stay in the restaurant business. There's a lot of stuff that I love about the restaurant business, but going now into the outside restaurant business, outside of my restaurant, and I'm seeing what's going on here. I'm hearing what's going on with other people that work in the restaurant business. It really is like this in a lot of places. And a lot of it, I'm going to blame it on those couple years before. The restaurant business lost a lot of professional people that were in the restaurants for years and years. But when your livelihood is basically shut down, you're not necessarily going to feel resentment towards the city or the state that shut down the state or whatever. You're going to feel resentment most likely to the people that you know, that you can put a face to. You're going to feel resentment to the building that you know. So the restaurant, whatever, the movie theater, you're not going to feel very good about that business. And I think a lot of people left because they had to have a source of living, a source of income for living, and a lot of them just never came back, because once you find another job and you're there for a certain amount of time, and now why are you going to go back unless if you get fired or something else like that? So And again, a lot of the people that work in restaurants, they're good workers. They can find a job somewhere else, and they'll be very productive. There's a lot of stuff that people learn about work in a restaurant business that makes people in the service industry, in the restaurant business, I feel, quality employees once they go through the training and they actually been productive in a restaurant for a while. But I don't need to get into that because that's my opinion. And again, all this is my opinion and my theories. And from what I've seen, some of the stuff I read, and again, I know I believe in one thing, so sometimes you read and you see things that agree with you, right? But I'll tell you one thing, even if you want to go crazy and look at some of my old videos, which you probably won't, they're probably pretty bad from when I first started doing videos, but I was predicting what's happening right now. I said a lot of stores are going to close down. I remember, and this is something that I say all the time, joking around when this was going on. I said, if this keeps on going on, the only stores is going to be left, it's going to be Amazon and Walmart, because the rate of the way the cities were shutting down all the other, basically Amazon's and Walmart's competition. Amazon and Walmart were the two main places to get stuff during that time. So now it's a couple years later, and I just heard like hundreds of, CVS's are closing, Rite Aid's is closing hundreds, Walgreens is closing hundreds, and a bunch of other big stores that we had just been declaring bankruptcy. A lot of it, or people might complain or not complain, blame it on looting or blame it on this. But I think it's a little bit of everything. I think the main thing is, the costs are too high, basically. The looting and all that stuff does not help, but the costs they just way too high when you think about it. Especially places that, or not even places that had certain, like, once you increase the minimum wage, you got to increase everything else. And again, I'm not for people making minimum wage. I'm not saying that. I know it's going to come off like that. But my whole theory is when you force something too much, it's not good. It's not going to be a good outcome. Too much of anything is never a good outcome. Again, my theory, my opinion. You can tell me if I'm wrong. You give me examples. Right now, there's a bunch of examples showing all these businesses are closing down. You can blame it on looting, but at the end of the day, looting is a very small part of it. Because at the end of the day, if these businesses could make money, they would stay. And you can say, oh, they're losing so much money on looting. Yeah, overall, they are probably losing money, and that's another topic if people want to talk about that one. But at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff started happening before the looting. A lot of the stuff started happening with the shutdowns and the wages increasing. That's all. On a positive note, I think last week I had one of my favorite guests come to my restaurant, from my restaurant in Philadelphia, come visit me to New Jersey. And this was a guest that when I first opened, I think it was one of the slower days he came in, and I actually sat down. He asked me to sit down. We talked, and it became more of a ritual in a sense. Every time he came in, he would usually try to come in a little bit later in the night. It don't matter how busy the day was. I will always come in and say hi to him and his guests. And sometimes if I had time, I would even sit down and have a glass of wine. And over the years, literally it was a really nice relationship, to a point that I was excited every time I would see him in the reservation books. So it was nice to see him, and he said he'll come back and bring some more our other favorite guests. Again, I'm looking forward to that. But that's, again, a positive note. And again, at the end of the day, the restaurant business is like any hospitality business. It's the people that you work with. And that's why I feel like we lost a lot of professional people over the years. Now this business is is difficult. The people that care, I feel, are picking up the slack for the people that are just there for a paycheck. And I hate that whole term, he's here for a paycheck. But people just I feel like people just don't care as much. There's less professional people. And forget about being professional, people that just want to learn. Like, there's more people that just there just to work, which that normally wouldn't be a big deal, but they're there just to work. Some of them trying to do a bare minimum, and it forces the people that really care and want to do something at these places to pick up the slack and do more work. And then eventually they'll do more work, and then they'll get frustrated and they'll leave. And it's the restaurant business right now is in a weird situation. Let's just say that. That's my thoughts, and I kind of wanted to put that out there. As much as I love it, I don't know the future of the restaurant business. I don't know how long it's going to be for the restaurant business to kind of plateau or level off to a point that a lot of people that are just there for a paycheck and don't care or start slowly leaving, and we're back to where we were, where there was professional people that actually enjoyed working in a restaurant business, enjoyed food, enjoyed people, a lot of those very basic things that are needed in the hospitality business. And that's why you probably hear a lot of the complaints about the hospitality business and all this. People say it's because they weren't getting paid enough. It's not true, because the wages have gone up dramatically, but the quality has gone down. And I know that's going to sound bad in a sense, but I'm just telling you from what I hear from other professionals and what I've seen, that's what I've witnessed. So look, leave, and I'm not saying that there's good people out there. There really is. There's good people that I work with right now. There's good people out there, but it's not what it was before. Leave your comments below. Let me know your opinions. If any of those chefs that watch me, leave your opinion. Again, this is all a friendly forum here. This is all opinions. Don't take it so serious, because again, I mean, you could if you want, but again, these are all my theories, and I would love to hear some of the theories from other chefs and other managers and line cooks and servers. Let me know what you think. I mean, just seriously, I am curious. I'm always curious to find out, and always good for a good conversation about this business that I, used to love. I still love. It is what it is. All right. Leave your comments below. Subscribe if you haven't. Be safe.